To see my exclusive content, visit Chrissy VIP at ChrissyOnline.com and be sure to join the mailing list for updates on future videos. The links are in the description box. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Hello. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Yeah, we're not doing call-ins. I'm sorry if the title is confusing. I'm just going to be reading comments from Black women who are in college, who left comments under my last video. Let me know if I sound okay. Good. I miss you guys too. I haven't gone live in forever. And I know some of you guys are tired of this topic. Honestly, I am too. But there's just some more stuff that I feel needs to be said. There was some pushback to my last video. A lot of people are in their feelings, which I don't care about. And I do think we need to listen to some of this Breakfast Club interview that Ebony did, talking about what she said, because I think it points to a lot of what I was talking about in my last video. And just be clear, you guys, the reason I'm talking about this is because Black celebrities have a huge influence over Black women, especially when it's somebody they look up to. These people, have a large following. The Breakfast Club has, I don't know, is it millions of listeners? I know the Griot doesn't have, a huge audience, but it's enough. It's a lot of Black women who tune in. So I just think, these topics are important and we really need to push back on it when we hear some bullshit, is what I'm saying. Okay, so let me get my slides ready. Why isn't it showing up? Okay, hold on, guys. I swear, as soon as I go live, now the pictures aren't showing up. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Oh, wait, is that it? It's not shit. Can y'all see that? Oh, it's coming. Okay, so I watched the Breakfast Club video where Ebony, she kind of expounded on what she said about her Mrs. Degree video on the Griot. And I'm not going to go over the whole thing. She basically told Black women, do like other groups of women, when you're in college, prioritize finding a husband, getting married, starting a family, as well as your degree, right? And make sure you guys listen to the first video I did about this, where I give my initial thoughts on what she said, if you haven't watched it already. In this particular live stream, I am going to give some additional commentary that I have on the Breakfast Club show. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. You guys can watch it on your own time. But Ebony, pretty much in the beginning, Ebony talks about how she's currently undergoing fertility treatments so she can have a baby. And she did say that she froze her eggs when she was in her 30s, and now she's choosing voluntary single motherhood. And, she didn't get into all of the reasons why, but, we can assume that it's because she can't find a suitable partner, right? But she did freeze her eggs when she was in her 30s. And she says now she has a lot of regrets about prioritizing her career over getting a husband and getting a family when she was younger. And she would prefer not to be doing motherhood alone. Okay. So the advice that she gave Black women is clearly coming from a place of deep regret. And, let me say this, even though I don't want kids, never had that desire, probably never will have that desire, I can totally empathize with women who do and, have a hard time conceiving or finding a suitable partner to marry and have children with. I do feel for those women, especially black women who are in that situation. And that's why I believe black women should explore every option possible. Even though, I'm not 100% traditional, I'm up and down about marriage. I definitely don't want to have kids. I also know that most women, most black women, they want that. So, I gear my advice towards what most black women want. And so, like, that is why I'm so heavy on expand your options. Just don't hold out for black men, because I know what most black women want. So I do empathize with black women who are in that situation. I don't want to come across as somebody who, just is insensitive about it just because I don't want to have kids. You get what I'm saying? And before I play the clips I'm going to react to, I just want to reiterate some of what I said in my last video. I do think Ebony's advice in general is correct, okay? But like I said before, she should not have limited black women's options to only black men. She should have also sent a message to black men about being, potential husband material or even being present in college, right? Because she said herself that black women outnumber black men in college 7-1. So, while she's giving these PSAs to black women, I think a PSA should also be given to black men, right? If young black women are being told basically to behave like non-black women, then black men should be told to behave like non-black men. And see, nobody ever nobody ever wants to put it like that, right? Because they always preach at black women, oh, non-black women are this, and this is why, brothers are getting non-black women because they act like this, and y'all need to act more like that. Okay, well then y'all need to act more like non-black men. Like, why doesn't anybody ever say that? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what I don't like about these PSAs and these conversations, right? If it's 7 black women to every 1 black man in college, then it's not enough black men in college for every black woman. So these same celebrities like Ebony need to be telling black women to go to college and be, telling black men to go to college and be more marriage minded while they're in college, right? They need to tell black men that. You can't just tell black women, okay, go to college, find a black husband and leave it there, right? Black women can't date what isn't there, and they can't force the black men who are there to be interested in marriage or just be interested in black women in general. And I do feel like Ebony should have informed herself about the current dating atmosphere for young black women in college, because they're saying out of their own mouths that the black men who are there, and just men in general, to be honest with you, I'm going to read you some of these comments in a minute, but they're saying that the men there are not marriage minded. It's very few of them. They are not trying to settle down, especially the black men. And so, like, I do think some of these celebrities, most of them are out of touch. They're not listening to what black women are saying, especially young black women. And, it's easy to get out of touch when you're old. I'm old, okay? Not quite as old as Ebony, what I'm getting there. But I talk to the young girls, to see what's going on. Whether it be my niece, my little cousins, whether it be you guys who email me and I talk to you guys, like, so I can get a feel of what's going on. You just don't put some shit out there and you're not informed about what the atmosphere is like. And so it's not that Ebony's advice was wrong. It's just that it was incomplete. Okay? So let's go ahead and play this where is it at? Y'all gotta get used to doing this again. We're gonna play the Breakfast Club interview. Let me know if it echoes. I really hope that it does not.
You unlife of saying that the market value unlife of black women is depreciating as we age, as we get more.
Can you guys hear that? Because I can't hear it on my end. And I don't know why. Let me see something. Oh, there it goes. Okay, let me start over because I couldn't hear anything, so I'm gonna start it over. Somebody said it was glitching. Let me know if it's glitching. I'm gonna start it over.
Saying that the market value on life of black women is depreciating as we age, as we get more educated, as we get more fiscally fit, as we buy properties, as we build in our careers. Our market value in life, Lauren, is ascending beyond the greatest heights of God. But I'm talking about the dating market. I'm talking about how men are perceiving us in terms of marketplace value for their partnership desires. So let's have that conversation, if you don't mind. What do you think most we're just gonna.
Okay, and Ebony is talking to a girl named Lauren on the Breakfast Club. I'm not sure who she is, but she's a younger black woman. And as far as the dating market value thing, here's what I think about that conversation, okay? I feel like that conversation really allows black men, especially these men online who have all these podcasts, right? It allows them to be delusional, them and their followers. It allows them to be delusional and wishful in their thinking, okay? Both genders are more attractive and appealing to the opposite sex when they are younger. Those are just the facts, y'all. Those are just the facts. The younger black women out there who are in college, they're attracted the most to their peers. That is just what it is. Now, here's what I will say. High earning men can use their money as a selling point with younger women when those men are older, right? But at that point, those younger women are looking at those men primarily for their resources, which is perfectly fine in my book. Perfectly fine, right? But we know that black men get on this internet every day and complain about gold diggers. So they, as a collective, they don't even actually like the reason a man's sexual marketplace value increases, right? Not to mention, as many of you are stating in the comment section, in the chat box, it doesn't even apply to most black men, what Ebony is saying. It just doesn't. The black men that this even applies to are in very small number. Hence all of the complaining about black women wanting provider men, right? If these were actually men who had high dating marketplace value, they wouldn't have been complaining about Ebony not wanting a bus driver or wanting to date a bus driver, right? And so to me, that's why this whole sexual market value, dating market value conversation is a little bit silly. Because even if young black women were to strike while the iron is hot and prioritize marriage and family while they're in their prime, they would greatly outnumber black men who are high value and high earning and who have a high dating marketplace value. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, who are we really talking about here? You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even y'all. It's like you can't be high earning. Two things can't exist at the same time, right? You can't be high earning and also get mad when black women say they don't want to date a bus driver. And I'm not saying that bus drivers don't make good money, when they're there for a while or whatever. But we know, by and large, what is the average that a bus driver makes? I don't know. What is it? Somebody tell me, because I don't know. But when you think of high earning men, you don't think of bus drivers usually. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like, these are supposed high value men with high dating marketplace value, but they're getting mad when women want to date high earning men. It just doesn't make any sense. So that is why, to me, okay, somebody said 34 to 45,000 a year, 50K to, Okay. 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 And so, when we consider high value, it's, six figures, low six figures, right? Starts at about 100K a year. And for some places, it's really not that much, especially now with the economy, that's not that much. So, when we talk about high earning, high value, that's usually the baseline. That's where it starts. So if there's all of these high earning, high value black men running around, then why y'all get mad when Ebony said she didn't want to date a bus driver? Why y'all get mad at that then? It doesn't add up. So it's like, when you're listening to this, ladies, my point is, don't let these men make you feel bad, for not being in your quote unquote prime and not being high in the sexual marketplace value according to them, because they aren't there either. They aren't there either. They aren't high in that regard either. So whatever. Let's continue.
Kind of focus on black men and black women for the sake of this conversation for this moment. What do you think most hetero educated black men are looking for in a woman partner?
Come on, Lauren. Kevin Samuels prepared you for this.
Stop. Let the dead rest in peace, Charlamagne.
You're right.
I think age does come into it. I think that they're looking younger. I think that they want someone who is like very supportive across the board. Like, my man is my king type of thing.
How about availability?
Availability is also a thing as well too. I also think that, especially when you start talking about like men who are like planning for like family and things of that nature, they definitely want somebody that is going to be, when you talk about availability, be able to really tend to family, to like all of that stuff. Like, I think that is very important. I don't necessarily think that the men that I've had conversations with recently are upfront and honest about that.
I said they're lying.
They're not upfront
I'm glad
and honest
we're already on
about
the same
that.
page.
You're not at all. But
let's just make a pause on that, though, just for the sake of not. We understand that, but let's kind of expand that. So what Lauren is saying, and it's very important, is that oftentimes men like to be the good guy, right? Can we just acknowledge that men, despite their behaviors and choices and the way they oftentimes show up in the world, it's like a man will keep a girlfriend, have 15 million side chicks, because why? He don't want to be the bad guy and break up with his girlfriend. That's the kind of stuff men tend to do, right? And spoiler alert, it does not get better as they age. Anyway, so I believe that men mean well when they say they're looking for their Michelle Obama, when they say they're looking for the Beyonce to their Jay-Z. But they're lying.
Would you agree they can't handle that?
So Ebony says they're lying when they say they want the Michelle Obamas. They're lying when they say they want the Beyonce to their Jay-Z. They're lying when they say that. They're lying when they say, this is pretty much what Ebony's saying. They're lying when they tell you in their music and their entertainment that they want independent women. That is what she's saying. Tell me in the chat, ladies, do you think black men are lying when they say that? I'm trying to see something. Because I don't think they're lying. I think that's what they want. And I think they want the independent woman. I think they want the independent woman. I think they want the boss chick. And then I think they want black women to automatically be able to switch that off and jump into traditional mode when they say so. And that's not realistic. It's not. Fellas, you either want the independent woman, the boss babe, the career chick, the woman who got her own money. Okay? You either want that or you don't. And what comes with the boss babe and the chick with her own money and the woman that's going to treat you like the prize, since they mentioned Kevin Samuels. That's what Kevin Samuels said. Kevin Samuels got on his platform and said that black men are the prize and that black men or black women should be buying them gifts. That's what Kevin Samuels said. That's what ASAP Rocky said. That's what these niggas be saying. And so what comes with that is a woman who may not always have time to do those traditional things, whether it be cooking, calling off at the drop of a dime and able to accommodate you sexually or go on that trip with you or whatever. What I'm saying is what black men are saying that they want They're double talking. One minute they want this soft, dainty, traditional princess, this housewife type woman. And the next minute they want an independent woman, go get her type chick. And I'm not saying you can't have a little bit of mix of both. Because you can a little bit, right? But you're not going to have this 100% traditional woman when you also want to be kept and you want to be the prize as a man. So my point is, Black women are getting a lot of mixed messages. And Ebony even alluded to that. She said they're lying. I don't think they're lying. I think they want some weird hybrid mix of a traditional woman and a boss babe that does not exist. That's what I think. You know how Black men always say that Black women want a Tupac in a suit, you know, a thug that act right, and it really don't exist? That's what they want in a woman. They want a hybrid. They want a warrior princess. It's not realistic. You keep on throwing your women on the front lines. You expect them to mule for you in the community. You're not going to get a bunch of soft women. You're not going to get a bunch of soft, dainty, traditional housewife type women. You need to pick what you want. Non-Black men, they don't throw their women out there like that. So they have the opportunity to be soft. They're not shaming them, because I did a whole video on that quote unquote high earning Black man that was shaming his woman for not contributing enough to the household. And he could afford to pay all the bills, but made her feel bad because she was a housewife and made her feel lazy. A lot of that goes on. These men don't want traditional women. They're lying. They're lying. They want the boss babe, and they want you to turn that switch off when they're ready for a traditional woman. That's what they want. Yeah, boy math. Exactly. It is definitely boy math, what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to play this and while I answer the phone. Hold on, y'all.
Ego-wise as well?
I'm not going to go in that direction. What I am going to say is what they prioritize are the things you just laid out. They want a woman who is accommodating to them. They want a woman who, especially more successful men, they want a woman that when they say, hey, yo, I'm going to the south of France for 2 weeks, pack your bag, let's go. Let me tell you what they don't want to hear, Lauren. Oh, I got to go to LA to shoot Judge Ebony for 3 days. Oh, I got to go be at a conference in Florida for Black women attorneys gathering. Oh, I got to go to sorority thing.
This sounds like based on a true story.
It's all based on true story. I wouldn't lie.
Charlamagne, shut up. Let these women talk, please.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad he said that, because when you said that, I'm like, damn. So she
this
has
is my lived experience.
Yeah, you got some background, like personally.
There's a vulnerability in this conversation that I really want people to feel right now. I'm $50,000 into IVF journey by myself. So I don't have a husband splitting that with me, which there's reasons why that's preferable for me. But I really need people to hear that. And I'm taking shots and I'm giving them to myself, and I'm doing all this to bring life into this world.
Yeah.
And I don't take it lightly, because it's a very serious thing. So I think when we were very cavalier, not just you, right, but in general with, oh, just IVF, or oh, just marry outside the race. Obviously been there, done that too.
Oh, I ain't doing that.
Oh, well, I heard some Snow King commentary earlier.
I said the guy was cute. I said the guy was cute. Now
Okay, did y'all hear that last part? I'm gonna play that last part again for y'all real quick, because I want y'all to hear what was happening here.
Taking shots and I'm giving them to myself, and I'm doing all this to bring life into this world.
Yeah.
And I don't take it lightly, because it's a very serious thing. So I think when we were very cavalier, not just you, right, but in general with, oh, just IVF, or oh, just marry outside the race. Obviously been there, done that too.
Oh, I ain't doing that.
Oh, well, I heard some Snow King commentary earlier.
I said the guy was cute. I said the guy was cute. Now I can't eat snow crab.
Hold up.
I am in no.
Okay, so as you can see, you know, marrying out, dating out was put on the table. And do you see what happened? Ebony said, oh, well, we don't want to just say all cavalier that, oh, just do IVF, just date out. Well, I did that too. So that translates to, oh, well, I did that too, Black women. And because it didn't work for me, it really ain't going to be no option for y'all. So you just going to have to stick with Black men, sis. That's what she was saying. That's what she was truly saying. Okay? And that's a big part of the reason why I wanted to address this tonight. Okay? Because this is the narrative that black men are painting, right? Oh, well, Ebony, and it's some black women too. It's not just black men. Oh, well, Ebony tried to swirl. So if you go to college and, you prioritize marriage and a family and you open your options, it's going to fail because of what Ebony experienced. Right? It's that whole swirling gone wrong, fear-mongering thing, failed swirler things. Right? And it's like, no. Ebony's relationships with high-value black men also failed. Why isn't nobody saying that? Because did Ebony date non-black men this whole time? Or was it all races of men? Did she fumble the bag with all races of high-earning men? This has nothing to do with failed swirling. Ebony is the common denominator. Okay? And look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Ebony's ex-white man was perfect or the black men she dealt with were perfect. I don't know those men. But if Ebony was in boss babe, independent woman, SJW mode, in which she's already admitted that she was in boss babe mode, and we can see, she's doing that whole trying to save the black community thing. So if she was in boss babe, SJW mode, independent mode, that was the reasons her relationships with high earning men didn't work. It didn't have nothing to do with swirling gone wrong. Nothing to do with it. Therefore, she can't be used as an example to say, see, black women, swirling doesn't work for black women. Because the more traditionally oriented black women are likely not going to have the same problems Ebony did with traditional oriented non-black men or men in general who are traditionally oriented. And there's a lot of proof out there that they don't have the same issues that Ebony had. There are plenty of black women that look at Eve. Eve of all people. Married to a white man. High earning white man. Very high earning white man. She made a lot of changes to her appearance, to her behavior, to the way she presented herself to make that work. Are her and Ebony around the same age? I don't know. I don't know if Eve is, I think they're around the same age. Am I correct about that? But they're not going to have the same issues. And so black men trying to, use her as this example of a failed interracial relationship to deter black women from swirling is silly. Because we could turn around and do the same thing by using her example with her failed relationships with black men. We could say, oh, well, see, black women, this is why you shouldn't date black men. The relationships fail. But notice, they only say that about failed interracial relationships involving black women, not the failed black love relationships. And to be honest, the black love relationships are failing the most. Oh, Eve is older? Okay. Yeah, the black love relationships are failing the most. And I want you to peep what they're doing, black women. You can fail over and over and over and over again with a black man. And they'll say, oh, it's not all of them. You can find another one. But they tell you to stop dating non-black men after one failed relationship or one bad experience with them. And they'll convince you to judge the collective by that one individual bad experience or another black woman's individual bad experience. But if you do that with black men and you say, see, they all ain't shit because that one relationship with a black man failed, then you hate all black men and then you're a misandrist. Right? And notice how black men they'll have one or even a few bad experiences with non-black women, and they'll still date them. They'll still date those women. They'll still get their passports, you know. If one country don't work out, oh, well, let's just go to the next country. They'll try again. They'll get themselves up and dust off and try again, okay? But they'll tell black women we can't do the same thing with non-black men. No. The smart black women are not falling for that. That is how they manipulate you ladies, and they fear monger you into keeping you only dating black men, even when you have other options. And unfortunately, it works on too many of y'all. And so, you know, some of us got to come through and we got to set the record straight. We don't know if Ebony, she may have could have, you know, made it with another non-black man or even another black man. She was in boss babe mode, so we don't know. We can't use her as an example to say, see, the shit don't work out, because by her own words, she was on some other shit. So that cancels her out of the failed swirling conversation. I'm sorry, you can't use her, fellas. Sorry. It's not going to work. All you red pill people, it's not going to work. Not for the smart black women. We ain't going for it. We see what y'all doing. We see the little manipulative shit y'all are doing, and it's not going to work. And did y'all hear what Lauren said at the end? When, you know, they tried to get her, you know, when she was like, I heard some Snow King, something about a Snow King, and Lauren was like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then DJ Envy and Charlemagne, everybody reacts to her saying what she said. And she proceeds to try to prove to them that she's not interested in swirling. She only said that that white man was attractive. So you see what I'm saying when it comes to this whole conditioning that they do with black women? Like, nobody would blink an eye if you know, a black man said, you know, well, I'm going to date whoever. I'm going to open my options. Nobody, like, because they're so used to black men just doing that. But the minute a black woman says it's just this whole big thing. And she didn't even, she said she wasn't going to date him. She just said he was cute. And they have, and somebody send Lauren my video. I don't know what her social media is, but send our good sis this video and the video I did about this 2 days ago, because she absolutely needs to be opening her options. She absolutely does not need to be limiting her options only to black men. And she needs to know that that is not her only option. And see, a lot of black women will do this. We'll say, oh, you know, such and such is cute. We'll think a non-black man is attractive, and they'll even think we're attractive. And we dismiss them because we're waiting on a black man. In the comments, how many people have dismissed a non-black man that was interested in you before? How many of you guys have done that? Yes, Roan Red 555, thank you for the super chat. And yes, this live will stay up. Because I know a lot of black women have dismissed a non-black man that was interested. I hear the stories all the time. I hear you guys say it all the time. And so because y'all are just, you know, professing your undying loyalty and your love to black men publicly, a lot of these non-black men don't think you're interested in them. A lot of that is going on. And then when they are, you just dismiss them. Oh, he cute, but I'm waiting for my black king. I'm waiting for my black man. Only black man for me. I don't want no pink peen. That's what y'all are doing. Alexis. Oh, wait. She says, Ebony needs to go get her bus driver and leave us alone. But even he will leave because she seems annoying. Her and all these SJWs are too much. And yeah, and a couple of y'all got mad at me when I had first did my commentary on, you know, Ebony when she was doing that interview with the Yanla. And I said, it's probably something wrong with her. Like, you know, it's not, again, I don't want to like make it seem like men are perfect, because men ain't shit. Most of them are not. I mean, let's just be honest. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes it is the woman. You know, and Ebony looked like she seemed like she got a lot going on. It's a lot of masculine energy radiating from her. And not, it's the masculine energy and that SJW energy, which is very masculine. You know, very much so, you know, trying to save the black community. And it's like, when you're in that fight mode, that mule mode, that SJW mode, you're going to turn off a lot of traditionally oriented men. That's just the way it is. You're going to turn a lot of them off. And so, you know, I'm not trying to say her white man was perfect. I don't know nothing about that man. But that is probably why that relationship did not last. So, you know, when she's in there, yeah, she is in a masculine field. That is true. But when she's in there talking about some, you know, when we say, oh, I tried that too, when talking about swirling, oh, I did that too. Yeah, and Ebony, talk about why it didn't work. And be honest about it. And I'm not saying there aren't challenges that come with interracial dating, but be honest of, just like you're honest about, you know, you being a boss babe and you not prioritizing marriage and family. Be honest about why it didn't work out with that man. What's going on, Brown Hillary Banks? Somebody in here trolling? Yeah, so, you know, it's just like, again, it's like, I'm reading between the lines, y'all. I'm paying attention to what's not being said and what's being implied. You get what I'm saying? And for people to be using her relationship with this non-black man to try to scare you out of swirling, as if your experience is going to be exactly like hers when you not on that SJW shit, it's just, it's, I don't like it. It's manipulative. And I'm going to call that shit out every single time. Okay, thank you, Brown Hillary Banks. Thank you for blocking them. Empress says, thank you for being a member for 39 months. She says, Chrissy always speaking facts. Your channel gives life. Ebony needs to be silent at this point. Black women need heavy reprogramming. Most are stuck in the matrix and need to free their minds. I 100% agree. Yeah, thank you, Maya, for telling the people to get the likes up. Thank you so much. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Candid but Sweet says, Black women, did we send for Ebony? Did y'all send? I don't remember sending for Ebony either. And I mean, if she's trying to save the black race, if she's on some hotep shit, then she need to be talking to black men too. That's all I'm saying. At least keep it balanced. At least, you know, talk to them too. If you're going to say something, at least, you know, tell them what they need to do as well. And tell them the truth. Tell them that even if she would have just added on to what she said, and fellas, even if all black women turn traditional tomorrow, there still wouldn't be enough for y'all niggas. Because it's 7-1. 7 black women, 1 black man in college. If she would have just added that, it would have been a little bit better. And all these, you know, black men online trying to make this a feminism thing. Like, again, if all black man-hating feminists, black man-hating misandrists, if all of them turn traditional tomorrow and prioritize getting a black husband and starting a family, there still wouldn't be enough traditional black men. It still would not be enough of y'all. Those are just the facts. And I'm sorry, but smart black women ain't gonna be fighting for y'all. Like, and that's what they want. They want all of these different black women to choose from, and they want us to be fighting each other over them. And no. No, we're not going to do that. Them dumbass red pill girlies might do it, but we're not going to do it. And so I wanted to read some comments from some of the black women, the women who are in college right now. To see what they had to say, because I think this is extremely important. This is from Angel Johnson. She said, I attended a top 10 college and top 10 law school. There were very few black men at these institutions. However, very few dated black women. The ones that dated black women stuck with light-skinned and biracial women. Black women, especially dark-skinned women, should not assume that a college-educated black man will want to marry them. Women should definitely expand their options. This is why I say Ebony needs to be a little bit more in touch. She's out of touch. She needs to talk to the women who are actually in college right now. Talk to them about their experience dating. Demalia Beauty says, as a single 29-year-old black woman who has graduated college with a STEM degree, I couldn't have imagined thinking about settling down that early in life. Secondly, I saw it in the flesh. Black men paid me dust for the most part. So it's wild to tell women we need to prioritize a ring or marriage when a lot of black men could care less. This is from Cece. I'm 23. I dated 2 guys in my undergrad. One was Nigerian and one Ghanaian. I was trying to find a stable partner, but I found that at that age, even in college, they were really unserious about dating. They were a little older than me too. It was honestly a waste of time. I should have opened my options sooner. I'm finishing my MBA next semester and I'm trying my best to leverage my youth, intellect, and beauty to my advantage. Wish me luck. Good luck, Cece. And see, I thought them African men were so much more traditional. For all y'all that be, caping for them in the comments, because there was some comments like that. And so we're not going to read this whole thing, but Miss Truth Teller says, when I went to grad school, I thought I was going to meet my fine and educated black man. Spoiler alert, I didn't. The few black men who are in my class had white women on their arms and were already in relationships with light-skinned black women. However, I was constantly getting approached by educated and fine white men. At the time, I had never even considered a white man as an option, but since so many of them were interested, I finally agreed to several dates. Eventually, I became that black girl who completely stopped dating black men. Not because I didn't want to, but because I opened my options. I had so many potential suitors and other races of men that I just wasn't even thinking about finding a black man anymore. I went on dates with European men, Hispanic men, Asian men. I tried them all. And, she goes on to say, I'm now engaged to a white man and so many black men are in my DMs pretending that they would have married me if I gave them the chance. Please explore your options, ladies. That's what she says. Is this really a thing? Says, I went to a PWI, primarily white institution, for undergrad and an HBCU for grad. And yes, the rates of HIV on campus amongst the undergraduate female population was astounding. Those black men are nasty and do not care about themselves. This is what some of these black women are going through in HBCUs. Historically black colleges and universities, for those who don't know what that means. Lizette says, as someone who went to a community college, there were hardly any black men there. I didn't know this would be the case since high school was different. Also, I keep hearing people say what black women should do and shouldn't be doing, but we've been doing just that. Dating the man that can only pay a light bill, going to college, hoping to meet the future spouse while still getting a degree, etc., etc. What Ebony is saying is not new. However, black women don't really take it seriously because it has never been realistic for black women. And she says, many of the black men that have it together in college usually act like the celebrity men. All of a sudden, non-black women is what they look for. So these women in college are saying that a lot of these black men are chasing non-black women or light-skinned women. And I want you guys to weigh in the chat and weigh in the comments when I'm done with this live. Let me know your experience. I have a couple in here that don't have bad experience. I didn't just, grab all of the negative comments, but most of them look like this. And I'm not making it up. This is anecdotal evidence. I'm not making it up. It just is what it is. I don't have any solid stats or anything like that, but we know for sure statistically that high earning black men marry out the most. They marry out, I think, 3 times the rate as black women. I think it's a little lower for black men who are not high earning and college educated. So, this what we're reading in the comment section aligns with the statistics, is what I'm saying. So you be a fool, ladies. Again, take the Mrs. Degree advice, but you will be a fool to limit your options just to black men. You will be a fool to do that. This woman says, Defiantly Pink says, I'm 26, but most of the black men in my private university were athletes with some bull S major who slept around. No interest in commitment whatsoever. These are young black women, 26-year-old. Defiantly Pink is 26 years old. Chanela says, I'm 23 and went to a HBCU and one where the gender gap was very huge, like 20 girls to every guy. So naturally, a lot of the guys weren't interested in having serious relationships and would be talking to girls who were within the same friend circles. So y'all in college sharing dick. Y'all sharing HBCU dick. And these are the men they want y'all to chase. These are the men they want y'all to fight each other for. No wonder why the HIV rate is high in some of these schools. Because y'all sharing dick. Yeah, y'all sharing Q. What's the other fraternities? The Qs, I don't even remember the names of them. Y'all sharing fraternity dick. The alphas, the kappas, thank you. Y'all sharing omega dick. That's what y'all doing in these HBCUs. And y'all fighting over all of these men. And this is why they want you to keep doing it. And this is why Ebony's advice is so irresponsible. Right. And then getting pregnant. This is ridiculous. And look, I'm not saying that none of these people get married eventually. I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is that in the moment, while you're dating, you definitely don't need to be limiting your options to just black men. Absolutely not. Not when they slanging dick like that around the campus. You don't need to be doing that, black women. You don't. Peaches says, as someone who went to an Ivy League program, these black men are not checking for us. Even if black women tried to date them, they have their preferences. Cookie Lachey, I don't know. She says, as a woman who graduated from a PWI and later became an engineer, I got both degrees because I wanted both degrees. I always wanted marriage and always wanted my degree, and I'm under 30. When I found a good man, I locked in, and he didn't go to college with me, and he's older. And she says, reading through the comments, I think the majority of women that are responding are tone deaf and off topic. Ebony said, if marriage is one of your goals, then marry early because your options look different as you age. And she says she ain't talking to y'all who are not worried about marriage. So this is a success story. Now, I don't know whether her man is black. She didn't specify. But Cookie said she found her man in college and she's under 30. So I wanted to be fair and add the ones that said they found their mans and them in college. I wanted to add them in there. I didn't want to be biased. Okay? So it worked for Cookie. How many have reread? That's one out of, I don't know. Okay, so the next one. Ruth. She says, I'm a 19-year-old at a top engineering college. I'm also a dark-skinned black woman. Some black men make it be known that they don't want young black women. They make it seem like a joke. For me, I want to spare myself the trauma of dating within those circles while in undergrad. They have literally told me they prefer white women. A lot of these guys in high-powered degree programs are just straight up weird, no matter the color. Trust. That's the engineer girly. That's why I said it ain't even really about race at this point. It's just about the current mindset and condition with young men in general. That's why I would hate to be a young girl right now. And honestly, I'm not saying that all older men are better, but this is why I said, if I was in college, I probably wouldn't even date the men there. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Y'all, you can take the gamble or whatever, take the chance. I understand you want your peers, but girl, I'm just, I wouldn't do it personally. I wouldn't do it. And then they already broke. It's like, so y'all dealing with like these young, horny, baroque men. Like I couldn't imagine. I'm so sorry. I just could not do it. But I know this who y'all attracted to. So, at the very least, he should be upwardly mobile. But I'm saying don't fuck him raw. I don't care what race he is. Don't be having sex with these dudes without protection. Definitely don't have they babies. And don't take them too seriously if you're dating them. That's all I'm going to say. Sahara says, I went to an Ivy League and we had a strong black community with many quality options. So I agree it's one of the best times. But I dated black and white boys in college. Never felt the need to limit my options. So she said she was dating everybody and she had a good experience and it's a lot of quality options. So another success story. I don't know if she's married, but yeah. Truth Serum says, young marriages divorce sooner. I got married at 22. He was 21 and it was hell. And she talks about how she stayed 5 years in a toxic, physically, emotionally abusive, marriage. And I told y'all on the last video I did about this, that young marriages do divorce sooner. It's actually more beneficial for women to marry in their early 30s as opposed to their 20s, especially their early 20s. So I think if women get married between the age of 30 and 34, those marriages last the longest. I could be wrong. I think that's it though. And so those are the kind of things you need to keep in mind, ladies. Don't be trying to get all extra serious in these, relationships when you in your early 20s. I know it's hard. I know you think you all in love and shit, but trust me, you gonna feel a little bit differently when in a few years. Trust me. Trust me. And I'm just speaking on the stats. And see, men are they're not going to add in this nuance. They're not going to tell you this because they want younger women. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell you that men are usually full of shit when they're at this age. They're not going to tell you that. But they are. And Alex says, I'm with a high earner and we were together back when he was upwardly mobile and very young. I got lucky. He was marriage-minded, celibate, and driven before we even got together. How many late teens / early 20s men do you know meet this criteria? Let's be real. So another success story, rare, but she, met him at 18. He was, ready to settle down. He was marriage-minded, celibate. I'll tell you what, I definitely didn't know. Back in my day when I was 18, I didn't know any men around that age that were marriage-minded. None. So I think what she had is rare. So again, not saying it can't happen, but it's rare. And so this woman, she basically is saying she is married to a good black man, and she encourages her fellow black women to still expand their options and don't limit themselves to black men. And I just wanted to highlight this comment because I like black women like this who are, even though they're with black men, they want black women to explore their options. Because think about it. That's how a lot of black men are. You know, the black men online, a lot of them are married to black women and they're with black women. They got kids with black women and they fully support the passport bros. They fully support black men finding love wherever they could find it. And so I really like black women who are married to black men who still say, you know, explore your options. You know, whoever is the best man for the job, get with that man. And, you know, and they're not trying to keep black women limited to black men just because they have one. I appreciate black women like that. Right. Brown Hillary Banks says, but they're a red pill. Married to a whole black woman. Got kids, got black babies, and a whole red pill. So they don't be caring about none of that. They really don't. Not Yet says, oh, I wanted to highlight this one. She says 50% of black women with at least a bachelor's degree are married by the time they are 40. And she said if more black women were willing to marry out, that number would probably be higher. And I think the last time I checked, it was 70%. I don't remember. I think it was a New York Times article or something that I read where it said it was 70% of black women with at least a bachelor's degree were married by the time they're 40. And I'm pretty sure I read that by the time of 40, either 50% or almost 50% of black women are married. So, you know, a lot of these stats that these people try to reference to try to make it seem like, you know, no black women are getting married. It's more than you think. We just tend to get married later in life. Especially when you're college educated. So, you know, it's like if that statistic is true, if 70% of black women, or even if it's 53% like this woman is saying, 53% of black women with a bachelor's degree are married by the time they're 40, what are we having this conversation for? What the fuck are we talking about here if most black women are going to be married by the age of 40? Like, it's like, we don't need to have this conversation. The only conversation we need to be having is black women, explore your options. Stop letting these niggas knock you up without a ring, without a commitment. Stop dating and marrying down. Those are the conversations we need to be having because from my perspective, like, I really don't think most black women, and even if it's not most, it's a very critical mass of black women. Let's say over half. Over half of black women clearly don't have a problem getting married. Can we safely say that? Over half of black women don't have an issue getting married. How many of y'all been engaged? Raise my hand. Been engaged more than once. I don't think getting the ring is a problem. You know what's a problem? Statistically, staying married is a problem in the black community. Statistically, black women marrying down is a problem. Statistically, black women being the breadwinner in the marriage is the fucking problem. That's the problem. Those are the problems. That's what the hell we need to be talking about. Not to get a ring when you're 21. No. Black women don't need to know how to get a ring. We getting rings, boo. It's not that deep. It's really not. The problem is we're not picking the right men. That is the real issue here. Our standards are too low. That is the conversation we need to be having. Yeah, a lot of y'all getting married out here. And look at the kind of marriages you're in. And I'm not the type to even be shitting on marriage like that. I'm very indifferent about it. But come on, y'all. Like this, what they're doing is so manipulative. And then women like Ebony, they're projecting. She has all these regrets. And so she wants you to feel like she does. When Ebony, it's a new day. A lot of us don't give a shit, babe. We don't. A lot of us are off of that SJW pro-black shit. We're done with that. We off of that. A lot of young black women are exploring their options, so we're not limiting ourselves to black men. A lot of what it's outdated. That shit Sabrina Parr was talking about, outdated. And I think they know this, and so that's why they keep doubling down on it. That's why Tyler Perry came out talking about if he can only pay the light bill, because he hears the conversations. They know that black women are moving on, and they're trying to keep us in our perceived place. That is what this is about. Yeah, misery loves company. And it's so frustrating. Yeah, and I wanted to show this chart as well. As you can see, and this is an old stat. If somebody has the updated one, feel free to share it. It's fine. This is old, but I'm pretty sure it's not that far off, okay? This is the percentages of men and women, black men and women between the ages of 25 and 44 who have ever been married. It's not just black women, but this is the black statistic over here. So, ages 25 to 44, 56% of black women are married, and 62% of black men are married. From ages 25 to 44. Remember when I said earlier, a lot of these stats cut off at 35. And so they're using that stat to say, black women, if you don't get married by the age of 35, you're never going to get married. You're going to die alone. Y'all, over half of us are married by the time we're 44. Almost 60%. I know it might be lower now, but my point is, I think it's still over 50%, y'all. And I really wanted to point out that the difference is not much. 56% to 62%, that's not a huge gap. So as a whole, black people are the lowest married. It's you know what I'm saying? It's not that serious. I just don't think it's as serious as a topic as people are making it. And if we're going to make this such a serious topic, we need to talk about the divorce rates too. We need to talk about who's the breadwinner in the relationship. We need to talk about how this hypogamy is fucking black women up as far as their credit, their health, and everything else. Those are the conversations we need to have. Not, can you get a ring? A lot of black women are getting rings. Y'all need to be having a conversation about how these men are out here making you baby mamas is not taking care of your damn kids. That's more important than you getting a ring. These men putting you in poverty, you and your babies. That's the conversation these niggas don't want to have. And it's frustrating. Okay, well then if this is the too old, if this stat is too old, then send me the updated one, please. No. This is just ridiculous. I'm just tired of the conversation. And so the ladies who are in college, it is okay if, I'm not saying don't prioritize marriage and family if that's what you want. I definitely think that you should date and also get your degree and all that stuff, but date around. Don't just settle for the first thing that comes if he's not what you want. Don't have a scarcity mindset. Don't limit yourself to one race of men, and network as well. Get involved with extracurricular activities, because some of the girls were saying, how do I meet these non-black men? They don't seem interested. You gotta get out. You gotta move around. You gotta network. You gotta join the social clubs. You gotta go to the social events. You gotta join the online school networks, because sometimes it's easier for men to approach you online. Some of these non-black men, again, they don't think you like black women. So they're like, they think you're cute, but they're like, does she like white guys, or does she like Asian guys, or whatever? And they're scared to talk to you. So, join the little, a lot of things are going on online. That's what my little cousin was saying. And they got their little Facebook groups for the school, and they got all these little online forums. You need to join all that stuff and network and move around, and don't be worrying about, the little hating ass little non-black girls that may feel a way that you talking to a white boy or, something else. Like, don't worry about them. Just do your thing. Utilize and make the connections on LinkedIn. Definitely have a LinkedIn up. And just try to make friends in general of all races, like male and female, so you can meet the people that they know. That's how you network and you make friends and you meet people. It'll happen organically. And this doesn't even just apply to college, the women in college. This applies to everything. Like, I know here in my apartment, like, I live in a luxury building, and I try my hardest to, like, go to the events, because I ain't gonna hold you. I'm borderline asocial. I can be. And so I really got to force myself to, I'm one of those people who is not very comfortable with socializing, but I can turn it on if I need to. You get what I'm saying? I'm an INTJ, so I'm very asocial. I'm very introverted, but I have a game face. I can just put it on and be the nicest, friendliest person ever, even though inside I'm like, oh my God, I hate this right now. I'm one of those people, right? And so, but I make myself do things so I can network and meet people. So I know the people in my building, the surrounding stores in my area. I won't tell y'all what they are. But I know the security officers in there because I run my mouth. I need to know these people. And so if anything happens to me, they know, oh, that's Christina in unit such and such, such and such. You take care of her. You know what I'm saying? When I walk in certain places, I'm like, hey, to the security officer, hey, they know who I am. The concierge knows who I am because I network, I move around, I show my face. You get what I'm saying? So you got to move around. You got to talk to people. You have to get out your comfort zone. I know it can be very, very hard and very difficult, especially if you are antisocial or asocial. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard. But you have to get out your comfort zone and go meet people and talk to people. You got to strike up conversations in passing. And you know what? It's not always going to go well. Sometimes here I'll get on the elevator and I'll say hi to somebody and they don't say hi to me. It's a white person or, an Asian person or something, and they don't say hi. That's fine. The next person will, or maybe the next person will. And you can't let one bad experience shut you off. You get what I'm saying? People are going to be racist. You're going to experience microaggressions, but you won't all the time. And so don't let that deter you, because people will say, oh, well, what about the racist people? And they're going to treat me different. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. And, once you get used to it, it'll be fine. Sometimes when I go out, I'm like the only black person there or the only black girl there, out of a sea of non-black people. And I'm not saying it's always comfortable, but, you have to remind yourself, I deserve to be here like everybody else. And there will be people who warm up and talk to you, and some people won't. It's life. But I wouldn't let that stop you from mingling. And, I find it so weird that people will say things like that. But you can go to a place with a bunch of black people and still feel uncomfortable. You can go to a place with a bunch of black people and still feel unsafe. And people look, you got chicks looking at you up and down. You got men making you feel uncomfortable. And so it's like, I don't really see much of a difference. Now, will the experiences be different? Yeah, but so what? You know what I'm saying? I feel a little bit more comfortable in mixed areas where it's just like a variety, a little bit of everything. That's kind of, well, I'll say my building is kind of mixed. Obviously, it's like less black people than anything, but you do see a variety of races here. It's just not like all white, But I do go to places sometimes where it's all white people, you know? It is what it is. Some people are friendly and some people aren't. My point here though is, ladies, that you have to get out your comfort zone. You have to move around, you have to network. And also, like, I think I'm not saying that online dating can't be a cesspool, because it is, a cesspool sometimes of ain't shit men. But there are really some good options on there. I know you guys don't like to online date, or some of you don't. But I have had so many success stories with online dating. Like, people have reached out to me. They're marrying people they've met online. They're marrying men they've met online, non-black men especially. Sometimes meeting online gets rid of that barrier that's there with some interracial dating, because some of these non-black men are intimidated by you. They think you're attractive. They're just intimidated by you. So sometimes it's easier to approach you online. And then at college, I mean, I can't stress this enough. You have to join the clubs. You have to do the extracurricular activities. You have to go to the events and mingle with people. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Bumble, but I know some of the paid apps are good. I actually, you know what? One of my friends got married to somebody she met on Bumble. So, girl, I don't know. I don't know. It just depends, I guess. And another thing is, you have to weed out the bad apples. Like, a lot of y'all too, I think y'all be hanging on too long. A guy is really not about shit, and you letting that conversation go on too long before you move on to the next person. You're not, rotating enough people. You're not serial dating enough. And some of you, in college, you may not have time for that. That's understandable too. But that's why you have to, network in several different places, including online, so you can, have people coming at you from different directions. So, Bumble makes women initiate the conversation. I didn't know that. See, I need to familiarize myself a little bit more with like online dating today, cuz I was on a couple sites, but then I stopped, and so I got to really like do some more research on that. But yeah, ladies, it's just so frustrating because, like, this advice, it's just like, it's so, I just want you guys to get out and try it. That is all I'm asking you guys. Just please go try. Go try. Before you say some shit doesn't work, just go try it. Take some of the advice I just gave you. Go try it. Go mingle. Go network. And try it more than once. If the first time you're a little bit awkward, try again. Just go do it and see what happens. Because I guarantee some of you guys, it's all in your head. You think it's harder than what it is. Because, sometimes I'll be like that too. Like, my apartments will have some type of event or something. And then, again, I can't say I'm antisocial, because I'm not anti. I don't dislike people, but I'm a little bit asocial. It's like, I don't really care to be around. I don't like people like that. And so, in my head, I'll be like, oh, I'm not going. And then I'll be like, oh, but I need to go because, what if I meet a cool person? And so, like, before it happens, I'll be all in my head, and I'll be like, oh my God, do I look good enough? Is my outfit right? Oh my God. It's going to be awkward. And then when I get there, it's nothing like I thought it was. It's like, why was I even intimidated? Like, why was I even nervous about this? Like, this is nothing. These are just regular people like me. Like, why did I even care? You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of time it really is all in your head. It really is. And then I will say too, like, when it comes to like events and stuff and social events, the men tend to, when it comes to non-black people, it seems like the men are a little bit nicer than the women. I don't know if that's anybody else's experience, but that has been my experience. Even when, in college, even now, like, I'll notice sometimes, like, for example, like, I'll get on the elevator. I don't know if this is just non-black people or just women and men in general, but I'll get on the elevator and say it's a woman and a man there, and they're in a relationship or they're together, right? I get on and I say hi, and the man usually says hi, but the woman doesn't. I'm not saying it happens like that all the time. But the women do be feeling some type of way. I don't know if it's that competitive thing. I don't know. But it's like the men are more friendly. They'll be like, oh, hi, how are you? And I'm like, hi, and I'm friendly. Like I said, inside, I'll be like, fuck these people. But I know that, I'm trying to be a nice person. And so I'm like, hi, how are you? And then the man is like, oh, hi, how are you? And then the woman is just like, She's looking at me with that stank face. And I'm like, dang, girl, I don't want your man. I'm just saying hi, bitch. Damn. I know y'all have experienced that. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. It'd be like that sometimes, though. And sometimes the women are friendly, but a lot of times they're not. Especially if they're white. Like, especially if it's a white man. Oh, the woman is like looking at me crazy. I'm like, girl, I definitely don't want your man, honey. And so, my point in saying that was sometimes you gotta ignore, like, the snarkiness coming from the women. Because some of them can be territorial. But, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah, especially if you look good. And don't be dressed up about to go somewhere. They be like looking at you real crazy. Kathy said ain't nobody checking for Peter. That is so funny. Right. Don't nobody want him but you. Exactly. Or they give you that tight lip fake smile. Yes, exactly. And I don't remember if I told y'all, like, this was in a Chrissy After Dark one time. I won't get into the whole story. But when I went to that event and I was with a white guy. It's a white guy I was seeing at the time. And I went to that event and he told me at that event that you dress up in, like medieval clothing. And so this motherfucker had me in there dressed up and nobody else was dressed up. And it was me. And I put y'all know I'm not lying because I put the video on my story when I was on Instagram. I was so embarrassed. I wanted to melt into the floor. Not only was I the only one of 2 black people there, it was me and a black guy. It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. And so not only was I one of 2 black people, but I was also in there overdressed. And so can you imagine the way those white people were looking at me and talking to me? And so when I tell you, I have been in some very uncomfortable situations. When I tell you, I understand. It wasn't just me that was dressed up. He was dressed up too. But it was like we was in there looking goofy. And I still had to put on my game face. And you know what? They still invited me back because I was a very friendly person. I was very friendly to them. I was not awkward or anything. No, it was a magical event. Am I saying that right? Magical. It was last year around Christmas time. It was at a church. Y'all, it was one of the most embarrassing experiences of my entire life. And when I tell you that we both went all out for these outfits. We went all out cause I'm looking up magical dinner. I'm like, ooh, I can do the whole, what are those things called? The puffy dresses. Like I got one of those. Y'all, it was so embarrassing. It was beyond embarrassing. I won't say I was the only person. The performers in there were dressed up too, but other than them, it was me and him that were the only ones dressed up. It was the most embarrassing thing I got mad at him. I was so embarrassed. After it was over, I was mad at him. I was like, you got me in there looking goofy and crazy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Did y'all see did y'all see, some of y'all are in here, I'm sure you saw the story on my Instagram and you saw all those fucking white people in there. And it was one nigga in there. And you know what? Just the fact that it was me and the other black guy that was in there, he was a part of the church. And so here's what I'm saying, y'all. Black men, they don't have that thing where they have to be around black people. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? And I feel like this is why black men date out more than us, because they withstand those uncomfortable situations better than we do. Like if that was my first time being in a situation like that, and that was my first time swirling, another black woman would have never done that again, and they would have just written off white men altogether. They would have been like, and see, this is why I don't date out. This is why I don't date white men. This is why I don't date outside of the culture, because this is some bullshit. Like, they would take that one experience and never, try it again. But I didn't do that. I was just like, okay, this is just this one time. Now, in the moment, was I mad as hell? Yes. Absolutely. Was I extremely uncomfortable in that environment? Yes. But after it was over, it was over. I was like, I'll probably never see these people again. Who cares? And it was just one time. Yeah, black men are completely divested. They are. Yes, they cross-relate, mix and mingle. And look, one experience isn't going to make them feel any type of way. I remember there was an event at my apartment complex that I'm at now. And at this particular event, it was this one black guy there, and it was this sea full of white men. And it's almost like he was performing for those men. I swear. He was like out there being the life of the party, talking to everybody and, just mingling. You know what I mean? And so in situations like that, I'll see black women and they'll be like in a corner by themselves looking at their phone. That type of shit. Black men, whatever that hesitancy that we have as black women, them niggas don't have that. They will look a fool in front of anybody. In front of white people, black people, whatever. They don't care. They don't care. And all I'm saying is that black men are a little bit better at that than we are. And so I want black women to get some of that carefreeness about ourselves and just explore and just do it. If you look awkward the first time, fine. There's always a next time. Maya says, Chrissy, you was in there looking like Ann Boylan. Baby, I want you to understand. It was so bad. I had on my little, what are those things called? Not a beret, but whatever those hats are called. I'm not a history buff. I don't even know what the attire is called like that. But I had on the little hat they be wearing. Oh, it was really bad. And when we walked in and the guy took our tickets, he was like, oh, nice outfits. And I kind of knew then that we had fucked up because the way he said it was like, oh, this is different. You know what I mean? He was like, oh, nice outfits. He was trying to make us feel comfortable. And then like at the table we were sitting at, it was like, of course, full of white people. If y'all remember the story, it was white people everywhere. And like, and y'all saw it on my story on Instagram. You saw all them white people. It was just so bad. And so like the lady that we were sitting next to, she was like the chairman or something. She was head of the church or something. That made it even worse. Like, why were we sitting next to her? Why? And so, I told her, I was like, oh, well, such and such, my date. I'm not going to say his name, but I was like, yeah, he told me that you guys dressed up. You guys don't dress up. And she too was trying to make me feel better about it. She was like, oh no, well, sometimes we dress up. And I'm like, thinking to myself, bitch, please, y'all don't be dressing up. But he did show me pictures of when he was younger, and it's true, they do dress up sometimes for the magical dinner. So, and he hadn't been in a while, so it wasn't his fault. He didn't do it on purpose, but it was so embarrassing. And I use that example just to show you that a moment where it was like white people everywhere, very uncomfortable, out of place, and I still didn't let that stop me. But other than that, I mean, I've been in environments where I'm the only black person. So yeah, it was at this moment Chrissy knew I mean, I feel like, you ever feel like as soon as you walk in somewhere, you want to turn around and walk out? That's how I felt. And I felt like I should have done that. I really feel like I should have walked out immediately. Because I'm telling you, when we walked in the church, first of all, like I said, the guy who took our tickets was like, oh, you guys look nice. And then when we sat on the pews, I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my God, we're the only people dressed up. At that moment, I should have said, let's go. And I should have done that because it was like a little performance thing at the beginning in the church. And then we went back for dinner. I should have never done that. And then I think I told you guys, there was this white guy sitting in front of us in the pews. And it was this old white guy. And he turned around. And I swear he was staring at me for like 3 minutes. It was so embarrassing. Oh my God, that was like the most embarrassing moment of my life. I will never forget that moment. But yeah, he was this old, wrinkled white guy. And he turned and he was just looking at me like, what the fuck is going on here? It was really bad. Baby, I look like, if just to give you a picture, it kind of gives you the same fashion that's in Bridgerton. Like, it was like that type of, that's what I look like. I look like I was straight out of the Bridgerton series. Like, I look like, because we went all out and we got our whole little accessories on Amazon. Oh, it was bad, y'all. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. It was bad. And the only ones there, it was literally people there with jeans on. Literally. And he had me in there looking like that. Y'all, I was pissed the fuck off. I should have done that. I really should have done that. I should have been like, I have to go to the bathroom, and left. But I was trying to be a good sport. Oh my God. Yeah, just look up magical dinner and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like from the Renaissance era, it's where they have this huge dinner, and they have it during Christmas. And so they sing all these Christmas carols, and then you have a dinner. You have a magical dinner. Oh my God. If I get back on Instagram, I will post that story. I still got the video. I will post that story again and show y'all how many white people was there. And when I posted it on my story, y'all was laughing at me. Like, y'all was responding like, I know you wasn't in that place dressed up. It was just it was one of the most embarrassing times of my life, literally. And I told you my date, he's a fire sign, okay? And it's something about them fire signs, they want to be the center of attention. And so he was like, no, you look great. You did they loved you. You were great. I'm like, no, they were literally talking about me behind my back. I know they were. It's you with your weird ass that just wanted to stand out. It's something wrong with fire signs. It's something wrong with y'all. Yes, he's an Aries. Oh, I told y'all. Yeah, I told y'all about him. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, he was like, "Oh, we looked the best. We were the best dress." No, we were out of place. We looked tacky and ridiculous, and this is not okay. Oh my God. And you know what though? I admire that about fire signs. I admire that some of y'all just don't give a fuck. You don't give a shit. You don't give a shit how ridiculous you look in certain situations. I do, okay? I care about that kind of stuff. So I say Aries women are different. I don't know because, my cousin, female Aries, she embarrasses herself too. I mean, I don't know. It's something about the fire signs and the audacity that y'all have. It's a real thing. And it's a good quality to have, but it also is a bad quality. Because sometimes y'all don't know when y'all looking crazy out here. I love y'all though. I love the boldness, the confidence. It's a good quality to have. No, I'm not a Pisces. I'm a Cancer. So can you imagine how I felt in that situation? Oh my God. I was so self-aware. Oh my God. I'm a Gemini rising though. So, I know how to play it off good. I know how to, but inside I was dying inside. I was dying inside, literally. I was like, get me the fuck out of here. Anyway, I say all that to say sometimes the situations and the environment will be uncomfortable. And sometimes you got to push through and try again next time. That's the moral of the story, okay? But I bet you my black ass won't be dressed up in no more magical dinners unless it specifically says on the invitation, wear certain attire. That's it. I'm actually an Aries moon. My moon is in Aries. I don't have that audacity like that though. Girl. Mm-mm. I love y'all for it though. I appreciate fire signs. I do. It's no shade to y'all. Y'all just be doing a lot sometimes. Anyway, we'll have to do, a chill live stream at some point. Maybe a Chrissy After Dark for old times, just to talk and have some fun. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I have to make a phone call. I hope you guys got the moral of the story. And I hope you guys, you take this advice with a grain of salt and you don't limit yourself. That is the moral of the story. And sometimes you'll feel out of place, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Oh, also, I forgot to tell you, if you want some tips from Black women who have leveled up, who have dated out, who have, taken that Mrs. Degree advice, and who know how to network, if you want all of those tips, definitely check out the interviews on ChrissyOnline.com. The two ones that I would recommend for this kind of conversation is the high value men interviews. Definitely those. And the interracial dating. Those two interviews in particular are the best ones to get networking advice from women who actually have been there and done this. And who have really, really maximized, their potential and really used all of their resources to their advantage when it comes to networking and dating out and moving around and getting out of their comfort zone. So definitely check those interviews out if you haven't. And again, thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll catch up with you in the next one.
To see my exclusive content, visit Chrissy VIP at ChrissyOnline.com and be sure to join the mailing list for updates on future videos. The links are in the description box. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.